Hey, everyone. Welcome to another chill, laid back episode, late night here, of Mostly Football. Nate decided he wanted to torment me with Saquon Barkley as his background tonight, knowing damn well that if only Saquon Barkley had caught the ball last week, maybe if the Eagles had ran the ball, who knows?
I
Lots of
think they should
coaching
have ran the
decisions to
ball.
talk about. Lots of decisions to talk about. We've got the Panthers. We've got the New York Jets. We've got the Cincinnati Bengals. T. Higgins back in the mix this week. We've got college football and whatever else Nate wants to talk about. Please join the chat. Let's have a good time. This is Mostly Football. Let's do it. Nate, my man, coming off a fresh, delicious Monday night football victory, a game where it seemed like, boy, let me tell you what, I was not worried about this game the entire time. Even when
I'm
the
sh-
Falcons went up, even when the Falcons had the lead, I was like, you know what? Eagles are going to come back. Falcons are going to fuck it up. Kirk Cousins
mhm,
has been a statue the entire game. They haven't been going
mhm.
anything on offense. Saquon Barkley has been getting 5 yards a clip anytime he wants to. This game is in the bag. Let's just call it a night. And wouldn't you know it, less than 2 minutes left, hearts pounding, sweating, and ends up
Bro,
being one of the worst losses, maybe all time. Certainly Eagles history. I believe there was a point where Next Gen Stats had the Eagles with a win probability of what 97,
97,
97.
97.6 is what I saw, and I think that was a minute. That was still with the minute 30 left, and that was as we had the ball. They still had that opportunity. And hey, man, I got to give it to Kirk Cousins, man. He stepped up big time, and he did what he was supposed to do for us. I was
Yeah,
I was nervous because I was like, last week, you bastard, we had 2 minutes left, and you threw an interception late in the game, so I was a little nervous. But my question is this, and I meant to ask you this like earlier this week. What the fuck defense was y'all playing in the last fucking 40 minute 40 left in the game? What were y'all playing?
that was called the backpedal and pretend you don't know what you're doing defense.
Because I was like, I was like after the first catch by Darnell Mooney, I was like, oh, blown coverage, it happens. And then the second one, I was like, okay. I'm like, they're just giving it at this point, they're just giving it to us. And then Drake London, I was like, okay. And then the final touchdown, I was just like, all right, well, I guess they didn't really want this game.
Yeah, that was called the bend and break. Yeah, some defenses do bend but don't break. This is the bend and then break defense.
Yeah, I gotta be honest with you. I turned the game off. When did I turn the game off? I turned it off after the Eagles last scored. I think when it was, I think when y'all made it 25, what was it, 21? When y'all made it 21-15 is when I turned it off. I was like, I'm done with this game. I was like, this shit's happening again. And 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 I think y'all were driving and y'all just got the first down. That's when I turned it off. I was like, I'm done. And then because I missed the Saquon play, and I think I had just turned it back. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let me just watch this embarrassment. And as soon as I turned it on, we get the ball back and we drove. It took us what, maybe 30, like less than 30 seconds to get down there. I was like, oh, Kirk Cousins finally handling business. But I was like, 38 seconds is a lot of time for Jalen. And then we finally get fucking pressure and he throws an interception. I'm like, thank God, this game's over and I'm going to bed.
Immediately texted me ball game,
Yes, after the interception.
and Nate knows that I, may or may not pirate the games when they're not on Thursday nights. So when I got his text, I didn't see the play yet, but I knew that it didn't go in the Eagles' favor because all caps ball game with like four exclamation points. So yeah, Jalen drops back to pass, and I'm like, yep, this is probably an interception. And sure enough, and you know what, Nate? I don't want to bring Love not. Okay, so we got breaking news here on the NFL channel. Jordan Love is not going to play, and
Man,
Malik
we knew
Willis is
that.
expected.
We knew that. We knew they're not gonna. They just paid this man all that money. Man, if you don't sit your ass down, you're not going to risk your knee. Go sit down somewhere.
But I'll tell you, and I don't want to bore people too much with like our personal fantasy stories and whatnot. But Nate, I went into that game, down in one league, 177 to 111. Right? It seemed out of hand. I only had the stack play of Jalen and Devontae Smith, and it's like, all right. I mean, they'll make it interesting, but it won't be close. Wouldn't you know it, Nate? If only Devontae Smith had caught that last pass, I would have won that game. So it's kind of like a double whammy, and that
Oh,
I lose my fantasy game and my team loses the game. It was a really good night for me.
oh, that's rough. That's a rough night, sir. That is a very, very rough night.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, we couldn't afford to lose that game. With the Saints and Tampa being where they're at, we couldn't afford to lose. We couldn't afford to be 0-2. It just there's no way we wouldn't have been able to regain ground. So you guys could afford to lose. I mean,
No, no, no,
currently
no, 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 no,
currently
no, no,
currently the
no.
Commanders are at the top. The Cowboys got their asses handed to them. The Giants, same thing. I mean,
No. I
like,
get what you're saying, like numbers wise, yes, like our division is worse than the NFC South. So I that part of it, you're right. But no, we could not afford to lose this game in the narrative sense. Atlanta is perfectly set up to lose games. And it's like, well, we took a chance on Cousins, but we have Penix here, so let's make the smooth. That would have been fine. Philly doesn't have that. It's if we don't win now, it's dumpster fire, bust. It's Super Bowl or bust for Philly. We're not going to turn to Kenny Pickett and hope to turn the ship around. It's
oh, I
so
forgot y'all had Kenny Pickett.
that's the thing. It's Jalen had to look good. The pass rush had to look good, which it didn't. You're well aware of that.
Yeah, well,
And
well, that.
the coaching, communications, decision making, running the ball, taking the points on fourth down when you have to, those types of things.
That's what that
Yeah,
is the play. That right there. If you, if you want to say anything cost you the game, it's going for it on fourth down in the like. I think you're on with when inside the 10, and he went for it on fourth down and didn't get it. It's like they just take the points. If you take those points, you win the game. Like it don't. It's not even close.
all right.
But
So I've only listened to Eagles radio all week. I've
I want.
only heard Eagles fans' perspective, but really, I mean, I know we're kind of just breaking down the kind of just how the game went, like the summary of it. But really, like, what did you take away from it that you're kind of still makes you nervous, but that you're also optimistic about?
Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins showed me that he can be that elite quarterback and win those close games and take control of the offense. And that's what he was. Dude, he took control of the offense. We did like that last 30, 40 seconds. Like there was no rushing. Like we got to the line, we called our plays, didn't have any. And that was the crazy. We have no timeouts. And he controlled the offense. And I was just like, this is perfect. This is the guy that we need for the rest of the year. Like we don't need week one Kirk Cousins. So here's what I found out. So Kirk Cousins basically, so I guess I think he was doing something. I think he had an interview with Troy Aikman, and he made a comment where he said that he was 100%. He wasn't 100% outside the pocket, but was 100% inside the pocket. And a lot of people was like, "Oh, he's still hurt." But what he meant by that was, is like in the preseason and you know, basically in training camp, you don't touch the quarterback. Like that. Like if I drop back to pass, I don't have to. I'm not worried about nobody hitting me because if they hit me, they're fired. So basically, he was just like, week one, that's what it was. I had that false sense of security and we got our asses handed to us for it. He said, "Now I feel a little bit more comfortable," which makes me a little bit more comfortable. But we've seen Kirk Cousins, we've seen the up and down Kirk Cousins. I mean, hell, we've seen him go 14-3. We've seen him lead. we seen him down 40 and come back and win games. We've seen it. And that's with less talent. I feel like this is probably one of the more talented teams he's been on, like skills wise. Obviously, Drake London is no Justin Jefferson, but if you look at the tight end position, the running back position, I feel like this is probably one of the more talented teams offensively he's been on. So that kind of made me feel a little bit comfortable, especially with that drive. Now, what I have a problem with is the fucking defense. The defense, they play good. The problem is we can't get to the fucking quarterback. We cannot get to the quarter. And Bill Belichick, which is like the entire time he was on, he's like, they don't have a pass rush. He said they don't have a pass rush. And one thing he said was that's why they don't have turnovers. Is because they can't rush the passer. And if you can't
Yeah,
rush the passer, you can't force turnovers. So
yeah,
only way you're forcing turnovers is either you're forcing fumbles or that's it. Because if a quarterback has time to stand, I mean, an average quarterback can cut you up, and then and it just looked like we could not. Matthew Judon got back there once the whole game. We barely made Jalen move. Like it was hard to watch defensively. It was just really hard to watch. But we drew pressure when we needed it. That's the best thing I said. Because
yeah.
if Devontae Smith catches that pass, that's his ball game.
Right.
I think Jake Elliott, his longest is what 66, 60 somewhere in the 60s. So
He definitely would have made it from that range
yeah,
if Devontae catches that ball.
yeah, he catches that pass, that ball, the game's over. So we got pressure when we needed it, but I feel like we need to have consistency. We signed Matthew Judon for a reason. He better figure the fuck out, or he's not getting a contract. Grady Jarrett, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've never been high on Grady Jarrett. Never. I've never ever since the day they drafted him. I have never been high. I do not see. I don't see Aaron Donald. I don't see a great defensive tackle. I see an average defensive tackle. They celebrated on like week one. They was like, oh, he's had the most QB hits. Who the fuck cares? I can hit a QB. That we're participation trophies now. Or we're giving trophies for QB hits, not sacks. What the fuck? Who cares? Who the
I
hell
think
cares if
he's
he?
I think he's legitimately good. I wonder if being the best player on a bad team sometimes kind of works in his favor.
I think that's what it is. I think that's what it is because I think if you put him anywhere else, he's not. He doesn't succeed. I think if you put him on the Rams, you put him on the Niners, you put him on the Chiefs. I think he doesn't make it. I don't think he's he's a good player. I don't think he's a great player because I've watched a lot of his. I don't I don't see it. I don't
Yeah,
see him getting triple teamed like Aaron Donald. I don't see that attention. It's a lot of times most of his matchups are one on one on Monday. You can't win fucking one on one. How are you that great of a defensive tackle if you can't win one on one? So that's my feelings towards Grady Jarrett. He's a good player and I'm happy he's on our team, but I'm not too high on him.
I think that's fair because I was very curious to see, Mekhi Becton. Everyone knows former first round pick for the Jets is with the Eagles now, and he's playing right guard instead of tackle where he was drafted. And I was, he had a good week one, but the field was kind of weird in Brazil,
Mhm.
so we didn't know how much that played into it. And I was like, all right, here we go. Grady Jarrett, quick defensive tackle. Let's see if he makes Mackay look slow and cross his face. And I didn't see
No,
Grady,
didn't
make
happen.
much of an
No,
impact.
at all. Not at all. And the thing is, but like Matt, I don't know. Matt, I think I know. Maybe he's. I don't know. Matthew Judon needs to figure it out because he has a sack and a half right now, and that's just not gonna cut it for us. That
Yeah.
shit is not gonna cut it. Especially if you want a big contract at the end of the year, it's not gonna cut it. You're gonna have to show us why you wanted all this money because we hadn't paid him yet. Because he said he did. His words were, "I have not earned. I have not earned a contract yet, so I want to let my play do it. One and
Now
a
I'll
half
say
seconds,
this.
it ain't gonna work for you."
Saquon definitely had a good night running. It seemed like he could have ran it well. That's Falcons need to figure that out. But
Yeah,
also, the Eagles have a very good offensive line, so it's not like you're just facing any old offensive line.
exactly.
But on top of that, I mean, Devontae had a decent night, but they were able to pretty much, Jahan Dotson did nothing. Britton Covey did nothing. So they at least funneled it to Dallas Goddard did nothing. So they funneled it to Devontae, and they kept it pretty ineffective in that sense. I mean, Philly scores what 22 points the entire game, 21
I don't
points.
understand why they didn't keep running the ball. That's what was making me nervous. Is the run game? I'm just like, fuck, we can't stop Saquon. And then Saquon, even if he's on the Giants, I think he's still been averaging 3 to 4 yards a carry. But
Right.
I'm just like, we were just like, fuck, like 5 yards here, 5 yards there. It's like shit. This is gonna be a long fucking game. But it's Nick Sirianni is trying to get himself fired. That's what I think. I think Nick Sirianni is like, let me see how far I can push this team before they just say, you know what, you gotta get the fuck out of here. Because why stop if the run game is working? Why go away from it?
Yeah.
Especially late in the game when all you need is a first down and that's it. What the fuck? Just run
It
the
was
ball.
definitely, whether it was his call or Kellen's call, it was definitely a case of trying to outsmart, trying to be the smartest guy in the room, call
Yeah.
the play and it was a good, honestly the play was a good play. He was open, but you take the chance when you put the ball in the air of someone dropping it, and that's exactly what
But
exactly
being
what
the
happened.
smartest person in the room with a room full of dummies, that that doesn't mean much. Like you
Yeah,
just outsmarted yourself.
exactly.
That's realistically all you did. Eh, I don't know. I'm Me personally, I'm happy he made the call because we wouldn't be sitting here having this conversation if he did. So
Yeah,
I'm happy. I'm happy Nick Sirianni listens to the analytics. That's what makes me happy. That
yeah, that too.
going for it on fourth and short in the red zone in the first, I'm happy he made that decision. And then throwing the ball, I'm happy. Good for you, Nick
And
Sirianni.
just quick on that because I haven't heard anyone, people say they didn't like the call on fourth down, but no one's actually explained why. Here's why for anyone who's actually interested. And it's like, it may only be a measly 3 points, but that early in the game, you are
Yep.
putting pressure on the other team now to
Hmm.
score points. Like,
Yep.
okay, if we drive and we come up with nothing, shit, now the other team could go up. And, if they score a touchdown, they could go up to 10 points, and then it's 10-0. It's
Because I
like,
think we kicked a field goal off of that missed field goal, off of that. I think we got 3 points off of that, if I'm not mistaken.
um,
If I'm not either that or we went at three. I know we end up getting points, but i- it's very simple. Just kick the points because if you think about it, those 3 points would have saved you the game. We would have had to score 2 touchdowns, or at the very least we'd have had to click an onside to try to get the ball back. But
it's it's just enough heat on the opposing team to make you think twice. Like maybe you force a mistake, but it's just enough heat on their team to make them freeze or not play naturally the way they would, and it's just to not get those points. Now it's a huge momentum shift. So now it's not like you go back to neutral either if you don't get the points. It's like now it works in Falcons' favor because they stopped you,
mhm.
and it's like momentum for them, and it's
Switch.
just
Because I mean, even if we don't get points, you lose momentum, and momentum is big in football games. And the
yes,
moment the moment the winner take it from yourselves, that's you know how hard it is to get that shit back. It's
it's
fucking
unreal.
difficult.
Especially, just the way the Eagles finished last year, and the fans are constantly ready to boo and just be disappointed, and to put
Hmm.
them in that situation was rough. But let's get out of there. We're on Thursday. We've had a game happen in between then and now. Shit, we've had a whole slate full of college games happen today. So Nate, if you don't mind walking us through today's games and
Ooh,
what stood out to you and different things like that, and these
I'm gonna
big, I
put
know,
you.
Tennessee and Oklahoma
Here's
have a
what's.
big one.
I don't no. I don't want to talk about that game. Scroll for me. I'm gonna tell you when to stop. Scroll
All
for
right.
me, please. Mm. Keep scrolling. Keep scrolling. Keep scrolling. Keep going. More. A little more. A little more. Little more, little more.
Not this
No,
one?
no, nope, nope, nope. Little more, little more.
Okay.
No, no, little more, little more. Keep going. Little more,
Oh
little more,
shit. Okay,
little more, little more.
that's a good one right there.
Oh no, wait, no, we're missing a game. No, no. I need you might have to change. You might have to change the because there's a particular game that I'm looking for and I don't see it up there.
Okay,
Um,
maybe it's.
no, yeah, don't do clear the top 25. No, no, no.
Oh, okay.
Do you see that little thing? That click that. Click yeah, click the top 25.
Oh, click the top.
Nah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. It's a drop down arrow. Yeah, click the drop down arrow. No, you did it again. No, click the there. Yeah, click the little arrow. Come on, there. Come on, Dylan. You can do it.
Where am I going?
So go see where it says top 25
Right here, right?
right there. Click it.
Yeah.
It should be
I
a drop
pressed it.
down arrow,
Yep.
and then go to ACC. I think they're in ACC.
Okay.
All right, scroll down for me. Scroll, scroll. There it is, right there, right there. That's the. How the fuck do you, North Carolina, allow James Madison to come into your stadium and put 70 on your goddamn head? 70 points. They
And
were
your
up.
quarterback
It
threw for
was
almost 500 yards.
they had 50. They had 52 points at halftime. 52 points. You scored 50 and still lost by 20.
That's
How
insane.
how does that happen?
That's a crazy ass game.
Because I was watching other games and it was nothing spectacular. All the other teams, like all the games that were on, like Clemson, all those teams that were on at the time were doing what they were supposed to do. And then this shit gets up. I'm like fifth. I'm like, no, North Carolina. Like y'all are a basketball school because that is James Madison. Aren't they in the SWAC the conference?
Oh,
I,
the
they, yeah,
southwestern.
aren't they in the conference where Dion came from? Because that is unacceptable. That is
Oh, they're
absolutely
good at
unacceptable.
73.
Youngstown, don't the Youngstown shot. We can go back to the top 25. We can discuss those games. But I just had to,
No, that
I had to talk about that bullshit because that was embarrassed. That's you do not let them come into your house and hang 70 on you and then leave. The
that's a
t-
wild score.
their fans were leaving at halftime. Like the stadium was empty at halftime. Like that's how bad it was. They should
Oh,
be ashamed. They should all wear bags on Monday. When they go back to class, they should all wear bags because that shit is atrocious.
that's a wild score.
So,
So it looks like
basi-
Tennessee is about to
yeah, Tennessee's finna do what they're supposed to do against Oklahoma.
wrap it up here.
Um, yeah, Texas,
Not
Arch
crazy
Man.
numbers though for Nico. Only less than 200
No,
yards
I
and a touchdown.
I told you they struggled. This is why I didn't jump on the bandwagon when everybody was, oh my God, Tennessee. Listen, they played a bunch of nobody schools and they put up 63 points a game against these teams. So I'm like, wait till they get to actual SEC conference, and now you see it, 25 points. That's about what they're going to average again in the SEC. They're not going to. Everybody gets the walk in the park games. They just so happen to get three in a row.
Do you think
So
Arch Manning should have put up more versus UL Monroe here?
no, he did what he's supposed to do. Arch Manning did exactly what he was supposed to do against Monroe. They I I hate this is what I hate. If you're gonna if you're gonna make this shit more competitive, let's make it competitive. Let's give them let's give these little cakewalk games first 2 weeks. Anything after that is straight conference play. Because this shit getting it in the middle of the season and they've their toughest game was Michigan, and you saw how that turned out.
Oh yeah,
That literally their toughest game was Michigan, and that shit played out the way we expected it to play out. So
I do like this. What's his name? Jordan Blue.
yeah, hey man, that run game is gonna be something.
He's good. He's
Ohio,
definitely talented.
Ohio State, dude.
Nice. Dude.
It's Ohio. It's Marshall again. Here's another top three team playing bullshit school for what?
And this Igbukwa guy, he's fucking. He's Another Ohio State first
That's
rounder,
and
you
that's
think?
ain't that that's their freshman. He,
Oh,
I
freshman.
think I
Damn.
think it's no. I think the freshman is Jonathan something. I know they have a freshman that they're really high on. He's been playing his ass off. Now
Okay, yeah,
he's a
he's a
senior.
senior.
So there's another receiver. He's a freshman and he's gonna be their future. They Ohio State's gonna be fine. I can tell you this though. That Michigan winning the last 2 years against Ohio State. I hope they enjoyed it because they're not beating Ohio State ever again. That's for damn
That's a
sure.
big. This is a big win for them versus USC. They need to win this game for sure.
Listen, USC is hot trash. How do you lose to a team that can't throw the ball? How does that happen? How do you lose to a team that can't throw the ball? They rushed for 100 and this man had 159 yards rushing.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Is
He
that
threw for
wait, 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 wait,
32
wait. Wait, 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 wait.
yards.
Hold on. Are you fucking serious?
He threw for 32 yards.
That's real the entire game?
He had 12 attempts. He completed 7 of 12 for 32 yards. 2.7 per average. His QBR is 26.3. Are you fucking for real?
Oh
Are
my
you kidding me?
god.
You joking? And you lost this game. I'm putting 9 people in the guy. You know what? Fuck that. I'm putting 10 people in the box. I dare you to throw this ball.
Dude,
I am daring you to throw the ball.
how do you lose a game
That's
where the
how.
the quarterback threw for 32 yards?
They
How
ran
do you
on
lose a game?
290 yards, bro. 290 yards on the ground is how you lost this game. He threw. There's no. I'm putting 8, 9 people in the box. I wish you would throw this ball. You gonna have to show me you can throw this ball because there's no fucking way I'm letting you get away with this.
How about the
My
rushing yards there for Miller Moss?
my safeties are gonna be 5 yards from the line of scrimmage. I am daring you to throw this fucking ball. There's no there's no way that you threw for 32 yards. That is unreal. In a college, in any game, college, high school, pros, that's bench worthy. That's how you get benched.
That is crazy. That's
That is
crazy. That's like
that is fucking insanity.
nothing too crazy for the rest of the day.
No, I mean the thing is everybody did what they were supposed to do. The biggest upset was Nebraska, Illinois the night before
Yeah.
Friday night. That was an upset because Matt Rule against top 25 teams is his his luck is terrible. He is fucking awful.
Let me say this. It's not showing up here. Syracuse just played Stanford, and boy, Stanford has this receiver Altmaier, I think his name is. Kid's fucking. He's not. He's not going to be a first round pick by any means, or maybe he will. But man, kid's got some skills. Made Syracuse look stupid for like the second year in a row.
I mean, the thing is, the biggest thing is as long as you have the talent, not even talent, fuck talent. As long as you have the what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word that I'm looking for, but you don't have to be talented to to be in the first round. That's just it's really it's just it. If you can run routes, if you can run crisp routes and catch the ball effectively, open, contested, you for sure a easy first second rounder.
Well,
I don't want
speaking of running routes and getting open, Garrett Wilson and the New York Jets defeat the New England Patriots coming to town Thursday night. We got the title here from the New York Post. Aaron Rodgers dominates as Jets throttle Patriots for rivalry win in home opener.
I wouldn't say throttle. It was they beat. I wouldn't say throttle. It was a 21-point game. That's not a. If they'd have beat him 35-3, then yeah, maybe we can call it a throttle. But 24-3 is not in the NFL is not really a throttle.
How's this
That's
for a
more of a
stat?
That's more of a, we can call it a dominant victory. I wouldn't say a throttle. They did the Jets struggled. There were aspects of that game where the Jets left points on the board a couple times, couple drop passes. There were some points left on the board for the Jets. But I can say this: this is what the Jets have fans were waiting for last year. And now that you have a healthy Aaron Rodgers, and I think that he's excited and he's actually happy to play football. So as long as they can stay healthy, they'll be fine.
I
But
agree.
crazy stat is it said that that touchdown to Garrett Wilson was the first time Aaron Rodgers had thrown to a first round draft pick in his entire career.
That's a crazy
His
stat.
entire, you know, I'm talking about from the time he set foot as a starter till now. Are you fucking kidding me, Green Bay? You mean to tell me this is the first time he's thrown to a former first round draft pick? Who the fuck? No wonder he left. I'd have left decades ago. Wouldn't give you bitches my time. It's like no way. This is the first time I'm throwing. Ah, get the fuck out of here, man. That is a crazy stat.
That is a crazy stat. Yeah, the other one here for those of you just listening, which probably isn't too many of you, since I've only been posting to YouTube lately. Been super lazy about posting to like Spotify and iTunes, but is what it is. But anyway, if you're just listening on the YouTube version of the show, then I'm gonna read here this line for you. That's also a crazy stat. The victory on Thursday night. I added the Thursday night part. Put the Jets at 2-1 for the first time since 2015.
That is crazy stat. 2-1 since 2015.
They have
They
not been
beat the
2-1
they
in
beat the
7 years.
I think they said that's the
Oh,
first home victory against the
9 years.
Patriots. That's the first home victory against the Patriots since that same time, 2015. That is crazy. That is a crazy stat. That is wild. That is a bad. That's a bad franchise. That is a really bad franchise.
Oh man. So let's see. We've got Brian Costello wrote this one. He says down here, as Rodgers came to the sideline, Salah went to hug him, but Rodgers put his hands on Salah's chest and lightly pushed him as he said something to the coach
That
before
was so
walking away
awkward,
and
bro.
glaring at Salah.
That was probably one of the more awkward things you've ever seen on TV. It was super because like Robert Sala was like happy as shit. Like he was trying to hug him. Aaron Rodgers. It was so fucking awkward. I'm like, wow, okay, well, at least you know he's not a hugger at this point.
There
That
has to
is,
be. I know I can find that moment.
it's you'll find it. It's fine, but it's fucking hilarious. But I would say that defense looked good. The offense looked even better. Um, I think it's gonna be a season thing. It's gonna take him to get a little time, a little more connection with Garrett Wilson. There were some missed throws that Aaron Rodgers had, but all in all, it was a good. It was a really good win for him.
Oh,
And
dude,
this,
there was a point in this game where all I texted Nate was "Holy shit!" And he was like, "What?" And I was like, "Wait for that touchdown to show up." And sure enough, dude, it was like And I'll say this: here's that moment they're talking about with
yeah,
Rodgers pushing
that's
Salah away.
yeah, that's the moment. That's the moment Robert Sala was happy. And but I'm gonna tell you like this: if there's anybody that's happier than a Jets fan right now, is that bald head man right there because he doesn't have to worry about being fired.
And I'll say this too: like, I'm not trying to take an opportunity to like shit on the Falcons or Kirk Cousins or anything, but people want to compare the two performances: Kirk on Monday and Aaron on Thursday.
That wasn't even the same performance.
I
That's not
thought no,
even.
I thought Aaron moved quite a bit better than Kirk has moved so far.
I agree. I 100% agree. This man was running for first downs. They were moving the pocket, doing play action rollouts. Aaron Rodgers looked like he didn't tear his Achilles last year. Okay, that's he. He looked extremely mobile, extremely comfortable. It was night and day between what Kirk Cousins did and what not even same. Like Kirk Cousins, Aaron Rodgers was dominant from the beginning. Kirk Cousins didn't dominate till the last minute 40 left in the game. Uh-oh. Looks like Colorado just beat Baylor in overtime.
Now, as far as like coaching decisions, Nate, we're going to
Uh-huh.
talk about Bryce Young here in a minute, and another coaching decision I thought was really strange was bringing in Drake May at the end of this one.
That was stupid. Like I took like we talked about in the text. If the game was 35-40, if it was 35 or 42-3, cool. Pull Jacoby. But it's a 21-point game. Keep Jacoby in. There's absolutely no reason to have pulled him. And then you just threw him in a fucking fire. You saw the way the Jets defense has been playing. His first, I told you, I was like, it's gonna be an interception. That first play, if that would have happened, I'd be like, that it was pointless. There was absolutely no reason to put Drake May in this game whatsoever goddamn ever.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of Nate and I texting each other, like they put Drake May in the game before he even does anything. Nate texted me, "I predict an interception." Sure enough, it bounced off a Jets defender's hands.
If
First
he
play.
all he had to do was just catch it. Because he jumped the route. I'm like, just catch it. But
But yeah, I
eh,
totally agree. It's like you pull Jacoby there, and you're sending two messages at once. You're saying Jacoby is the reason that we are not succeeding tonight, and you're
mhm,
also saying Drake May will make this team look better. And neither of
and he
those
didn't.
things really
Neither of
came to
those things
fruition. Like
happened.
you just saw the same thing that was happening to Jacoby. You saw sacks, you saw
Hmm.
coverage sacks. It was just the
Hmm.
Jets' night. And to throw
Yep.
Drake May in there, he didn't learn anything. There was nothing, there was no positives really to take away. He didn't really have a highlight play. And
Mm-mm, at
Jacoby
all.
is just kind of like sitting there with the towel over his head. And
He
it
looked
was a bad
lost.
look. I would have let Jacoby close it out.
Yep.
And this next game is going to be rough. I don't think they're going to go to Drake May. I think they're playing like the Chiefs or San. They got a rough game this next one. So you're not going to go to Drake May. You're going to stick Jacoby back out there after benching him this past
Hmm.
game. So the morale, the juju's just all over the place. And yeah, it was a bad
I,
look, and I wouldn't have done it.
I personally, I wouldn't. Drake May would just sit the rest of the year unless Jacoby got hurt. You not. I'm gonna tell you. I'm like, look, kid, you're not gonna see the field this year. That's just what it is. Because the thing is, he's gonna be Bryce Young because the Patriots offensive line is okay, cool, but they don't have nobody to throw the ball to. Hunter Henry, Kendrick Bourne, who the fuck else is outside of that? And those are not even top tier guys. Those are guys that are just fucking average. You
Yeah.
don't want you don't have you have zero playmakers on that off. Besides Ramondre Stevenson, you have zero fucking playmakers on that offense. I'm not putting my rookie out there until next season. Like because that way we go into the off season with Gerard Mayo. You understand what we need.
Yep. Yeah, it was
Oh
just
shit.
weird. Oh, what you got?
Colorado. So Colorado, they're in overtime. Baylor looks like they were inside their own 5 yard line. Looks like they. Okay, never mind. Baylor was getting ready to score. They fumbled the ball and they went to the back of the end zone. So it looks like Colorado's going to win this game.
Oh, Jesus.
But I wouldn't put Drake May in because it's going to be this situation. It's going to be Bryce Young. And what I find fucked up in this Bryce Young situation is who was who did they draft first from? Who did they draft? Who was their first pick this season in the draft?
So they traded up to get Liga.
So okay, so you watched your rookie quarterback get his shit pushed in last season. You
Yeah.
watched him murder. You watched him get fucking murdered every week for 18, well, 17 weeks. You watched that, and you decide, let's go get us a receiver. A receiver that probably wasn't on 90% of the team's boards. Why not go get somebody that can protect him? But no, They decided let's build this ragtag ass offensive line in the offseason, and this is what's going to work. And then 2 games into the season, you bench him because oh, it's his. No, the fuck, it's not. It's not. He's already fucking Kyler Murray size. He's honestly, I think Kyler Murray is weight wise, he's probably bigger. This kid is getting murdered. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, I can't. Every time the ball is snapped, I got people in my face. What the fuck am I supposed to do here? This I call bullshit. And if I'm his agent and I'm Bryce Young, I'm telling the Carolina Panthers to go fuck themselves and get me out of here.
Yeah,
Get
so
me
I
out of
mean,
here.
I'm looking at the Panthers' offensive line right now, and it should, like, on paper, it's one of those lines that should be good. You know,
On
you have Ike
paper.
Ekwonu, the first round pick from 2022. They brought in Damian Lewis from Seattle, free agent acquisition. You bring in Austin Corbett from the Rams. You bring in Robert Hunt, who was the highest paid guard this offseason. So this should be a good line.
But they haven't played together.
Haven't
That's the
played together,
problem. That's you
and
can't if you
you're
build an
bringing
offensive line,
another new head coach
right?
who's
Another
supposed to
one.
be this quarterback whisperer. Like you said, you draft a wide receiver, you draft a running back, you give this guy all these weapons, and then 2 games in, you say, "Oh, it's not going to work."
You can't do this. You cannot you cannot build some ragtag offensive line and think that this guy. Here's my core. Like, what goes into signing a free agent? Because if I'm bringing in free agents, I want to watch tape. I need to watch tape. I need to watch them. I need to watch their best games and I need to see their worst games. I need to see how they handle adversity. I need to see how they deal with certain shit. Because I'm not about to bring in, it's like the Colorado situation. Colorado, they go straight to the transfer portal and bring in a whole bunch of guys for the offensive line, and it don't work. The shit falls apart. I
Yeah,
think the offensive line is probably the only group set in football that has to have camaraderie. Like you can't just plug and play people because it don't work that way.
right.
I believe that because I need to know what we need to be able to read each other's minds and know where our assignments are before the shit happens. The shit that Bryce Young is in is fucked up. Brady said it best. He should have had to sit. They should have signed a veteran guy to come in and let that veteran guy be the starter and let him sit because you threw him into the fire. You say, "Here's the playbook. Now go swim." This shit, this shit's it's fucked up. Honestly, it's it's a fucked up situation, and I hate that Bryce Young has to deal with this shit.
I mean, since David Tepper's been the owner, I think you've had Matt Rule and Frank Reich as head coach.
Yep.
You've had Dave Canales this year. I'm pretty sure there's one more too who got fired, like one and done
Oh,
type coach.
I can't think his I can't
So
think of
that's
his
like,
name. It was Frank.
yeah,
Was it Frank? Did you already say Frank? No, you said Frank right already, right?
yeah,
Yeah. So I think that was the only other person that was there. See, because Frank Wright came in after Matt Rule, and
okay.
then we got this because Matt Rule didn't last but a year. I,
So
I think he's had 2 head coaches in like a number of different systems. Like there's no consistency for him.
well, yeah, you've had no consistency, and as Tepper as the owner too, no consistency. Your coaches don't know what to expect. They've had no consistency, and maybe it's time you just sort of step back a little bit because I think what happens is a super rich a business guy like that sees a team like Houston, right? And he
Hmm.
thinks if they can turn it around in one season, so can I. I just need to figure out what's the magic sauce. And I guarantee he thought new quarterback, new coach. That's what every team gets sparked with a new quarterback, new coach. If it doesn't work, you just rinse and throw it all away, start over again. Don't waste your time trying to develop. This is business that happens fast. New quarterback, new coach. And it's just in football, like we talked about with analytics earlier, there's something about having 3 points on the board instead of going for it on fourth down and putting the heat on the other team. Like there's more to it than just numbers. And
Hmm.
if you
When did
let Bryce Young develop, I mean, the point's been made before too. Like Sam Darnold looks good this year. Baker Mayfield looked great last year and looks good this year again. And it's like both those guys played in Carolina. Both those guys look terrible in Carolina. So maybe there's just something to Carolina
it's
right now that's not
Carolina?
the best place to be.
When did the Texans hire what's his name?
D'Amico,
Yeah, when did they hire D'Amico Ryans?
I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was a
So
rookie coach last year.
so he came in. So the thing is that the Texans already had a decent foundation. Their offensive line wasn't awful. Their offensive line was actually pretty decent. You
Right.
you had some weapons, wasn't great, but they drafted well. You took CJ Stroud. CJ no I mean CJ I think CJ Stroud is the exception to the rule.
Well, that's
He
kind
was
of
the
where they fucked up too. Is I'm sure he's like, oh, he took Bryce instead of C.J. Stroud.
True, but I think if CJ Stroud would have been in that situation, it'd have still been the same thing. The thing is, the Carolina Panthers is the problem. It's the organization. Cam Newton said this shit. It's bullshit. It's what he called fuck shit. There's a lot of fuckery going on in Carolina, and David Tepper is behind all of it because
Yep.
you can't say on Sunday, Dave Canellis, that Bryce Young is our quarterback, and then turn around 2 days later and bench him for Andy Dalton.
No, it's such a horrible look because now
It's
there
fucking
is no
terrible.
this. I mean, this headline right here from CBS says, "Not turning page on bench Bryce Young. Expect former number one pick to regain starting spot." How? How in the
How?
hell? If he regains his spot, that means that either Andy Dalton got hurt or Andy Dalton is playing like shit, and that's not good for you because now you're going back to the guy who was playing like shit before Andy Dalton. So it's
Yeah,
like now
that.
you've ruined this kid's confidence. If he
Mhm.
does get his job back, it's going to be out of sympathy or injury, and that's
But
not a good way to get your job back.
but how does he get his job back though? Like you can't say you can't say well Andy's playing bad, so we need to go back to Bryce Young. You bitch Bryce Young because he was playing bad. So we're gonna put
Exactly.
me back in the same situation?
And your backup quarterback gets like what 10% of the reps in practice. So what's he going to do? Throw
Andy
like two
Dalton
great passes in practice? Oh, I guess we better stick Bryce Young back, and he's
Andy
lighting it up in
Dalton's gonna look
practice.
just like Bryce Young did, but worse because
Yeah.
Andy Dalton's been in the league a lot longer. That offensive line is miserable. The defense is even worse because the defense don't really help the offense because they don't put them in good field position. So it's that whole team, the whole organization is a goddamn dumpster fire. And I hate that Bryce Young is going through this. Trust me, I don't like the Panthers. I'm not a fan of the Panthers players. I'm against everything that's Carolina. But this is bullshit. This this is this is bullshit. And what really pisses me off is they're blaming everything on Bryce. They're blaming the bad play. They're blaming the fact that they ain't won any games. They're blaming it all on Bryce, and that's the wild part to me.
And again, going back to the coach, what does this say about you? If you
Yeah,
were known as the quarterback whisperer, and 2 games into this thing, you're just giving up on your project. I guess
I feel
you're either not much of a whisperer or your number one pick was terrible.
it was fucking awful. Why would you take a receiver like I don't I think Xavier Leggett would have been there in the second or even the third round. I believe he would have been there. I would have went for a tackle or a guard. I'd have went for something that's going to protect my investment. He's your future. So now what are you saying? So you're saying he's no longer your future? What are you going to do next year? You're going to draft Sedura? You're going to take Carson Beck? What are you going to do?
Yeah,
You're going to take Cam Ward if he decides to come out? What the fuck are you going to do?
yeah.
You're going to give up two years on your former first round number one pick. You're gonna give up on it? Nah. This whole situation is bullshit. And if I'm a team, that needs a backup, or if I'm a team like hell, hmm, New York Giants, I'm reaching out to them. What do y'all
Oh
want
yeah,
for him?
absolutely.
I'm not give you. I will give you third and a fourth for him. Maybe I'll give you a third for him because
Yeah.
as we see, he ain't worth shit. But let's see if we can make something of it because I think he's better than Daniel Jones.
No, I mean we've seen. I mean Kenny Pickett, Justin Fields, Mac Jones all get traded for not first round picks to
And,
go to other
and they
teams.
look better. And think about it. Mac Jones looks when he was in the preseason, he looked pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
mean, with Justin Fields, shit, he's 2-0 right now.
Yep.
He
Absolutely.
Russell Wilson go ahead and kiss his job goodbye. He go ahead and kiss that shit goodbye. You ain't getting this position. There's no way if they win this week, if the Pittsburgh Steelers win this week with Justin Fields, Russell Wilson go ahead and kiss his job goodbye. You, sir, are not a backup because there's no
Oh,
way you're gonna pull him when Russell's healthy and be like, "Hey, go ahead and win us some games." No, you're not about to mess that up. Nah.
I think you're right. And before we get away from the Panthers completely, I do want to say if you are, there's a lot of injuries, a lot of weird play right now. I personally myself in a super flex league am starting Andy Dalton this week, so don't be afraid.
Oh my
And
God. Why would
honestly,
you?
I think Deontay Johnson is going to be a good play this week at the Raiders. They're going to have to throw a lot. Andy
We
and Deontay, they
wait.
run the same type
Time
of
out.
game. It's
Time
timing.
out.
It's
They're playing
routes.
who they're playing this week?
They're going at Las Vegas.
So they at you mean to tell me they gotta go play that white boy out there, Mason Crosby? Him
Yes.
with that
Yes.
paper mache offensive line?
It's luckily they're going to be throwing a lot.
If you have the Raiders defense, go ahead and start that defense. I'm just gonna go ahead and
Absolutely.
give you some
Absolutely.
some fantasy advice, right? If you have a Raiders defense and you go ahead and start them because there's that paper mache offensive line is gonna get no. Andy Dalton's gonna be on his back a lot. But this is my question. This is my biggest question. What does this prove? What does benching Bryce prove? What does that do for you? What does that do for what does that do? Like what are you trying to show? Like I don't get it.
Yeah.
It's one of those decisions I don't understand.
So I mean if you saw any of the game, you saw there was like one play in particular where Bryce goes to throw the ball, I don't know where the hell it went, and Adam Thielen got all pissed off. So there's the narrative that, Dave Canales says, I'm watching the film and I'm just trying to be fair to everyone on the team by putting the best players on the field. So in that sense, you're if you're trying to keep the locker room together by putting the best guys out there, then that's the argument.
That is a shitty argument. You you first of all, Adam Thielen's like 45 years old. Okay? No one gives a fuck about Adam Thielen. If it was Justin Jefferson, shoot, I would Adam Thielen, no one cares about Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen hadn't been relevant since 2017. Okay?
Yeah.
He is he's past his prime. Here's the biggest thing. I've watched some of their games. Nobody's getting separation. What do you want Bryce to do? You're not getting separation. So now I got to hold the ball a little longer because you and your ancient fucking legs can't get separation from the fucking DB. That is shit. So what am I supposed to do? So I'm holding the ball longer because I got to wait for you to make a move? Get the fuck out of here. Like I'm not trying to hear that shit.
Right. And the thing too is it's like, I understand, every professional goes out on the field and expect nobody goes out there and expects to lose. Like honestly, they all want to win and they play hard to win. But at the
Yeah.
same time, you have to be realistic with this Carolina Panthers team. No one was expecting a postseason run or anything like
No.
that. You were expecting these guys to gel together and work together and to be a rebuilding year with a
Mhm.
new receiver, new running back, a second year quarterback, a brand new coach. So it's just so crazy to bail out this early and make the morale just like, all right. I mean, short leash for everyone. Anytime you fuck up, it's like I'm putting someone new in. It's just I don't
And
want.
the
It's just not a
and the
recipe.
running back that you had high hopes for, he's still injured, so he hasn't even played a game yet.
Exactly. Yeah.
So he's gonna be another 2 more games before he actually comes in. So
This is
then
wild.
what? So now you're gonna have, and this is what's gonna piss me off. This is really gonna piss me off. If Andy Dalton has success, they're gonna be like, see. No, no, that's bullshit. Because Andy Dalton, bitch, has been in the league for fucking ever. So he should be able to figure this shit out. Bryce is second year.
Right.
And what they're doing, and this is the shit that's really fucked up. They're comparing him to CJ Stroud. Listen, Alabama, and I've always said this from the beginning. There's only been one great quarterback to come from Alabama, and that was Joe Namath. You know how long ago Joe Namath went to fucking Alabama? It's a long goddamn time ago. There's never been a quarterback since Nick Saban has been there to produce a good quarterback.
Excuse me.
Who?
Excuse me.
who who was the quarterback?
Excuse me. He plays for the Eagles.
Okay, he went to Oklahoma. Okay, that's what we're not going to do. He went to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Okay, the thing is, when you're in Alabama, it doesn't take much to be a quarterback in Alabama. Now, Jalen Miro is going to be different because all that talent is gone. And he's got to work for his shit.
Yeah.
But quarterbacks in the past, Mac Jones, what's that guy? Tua is another one. Jalen Hurts, if you want to put him there. Who is the other quarterback that was drafted to the league from Alabama? AJ McCarron?
Yep.
Is that the name?
Yep.
Again, another one. He was throwing to top tier guys. He had a top tier running. He had fucking running backs galore. They trash. They don't translate because it's hard. If you look at CJ Stroud, he came from Ohio State. It's difficult. It is difficult. Yes, you don't always get NFL caliber receivers. Not all Ohio State receivers make it to the league. And if they
Right.
do make it to the league, they're not fucking good. 90% of Alabama wide receivers, you can name a lot of them that are still currently in this league right now. You can't name, if you pick a lot of Ohio State receivers that have been drafted when Julio was drafted, I guarantee you none of them are still in the league. Maybe one, maybe two. But most of the Alabama wide receivers make a long career. So it makes it easy. It makes it easy. And Bryce Young, unfortunately, he had to suffer that. So now he got sent to Carolina, and reality hit you. This shit's not easy. You don't have an offensive line. You got you got a 50-year-old you're throwing the ball to who's throwing temper. I did see the temper tantrum. I'm like, bro, you're 50. Who cares? All right, no one cares. They
True.
It's hard for a quarterback to throw the ball when your receivers are not getting separations. That's
Yeah.
it's it just sucks for him. But I this is only gonna, it's just like you said, like what do you do? If Andy Dalton plays bad, and he will, what the fuck do you do? Where do you
Yeah.
go? Do you
Yeah.
be like, oh, our bad. Let's put Bryce back. If I'm Bryce, I'm like, go fuck yourself. I'm injured now. I'm not playing. I twisted my ankle last night. I'm not playing for you bastards. Trade me. I'm not. No, I'm not. No, fuck that. I'm not. No, you got to go fucking find a new quarterback because that's bullshit.
It is bullshit. And yeah, hopefully we made our case. I mean, I get it. Like, I don't think Bryce Young has shown any flashes of brilliance either. Don't get me wrong. He hasn't, done himself any favors, but I just think
But
this
it's hard
team is,
to.
yeah,
And that's gonna always be my argument to defend him is how can I? How can I show flashes if I hike the ball in point 0.2 seconds? I got the defensive tackle in my face and I got to run now, or or I got a linebacker in my face, or I'm being chased every time I say hut and the fucking ball's in my hand. Like how do I show flashes that way? It's impossible. I mean, you look at what's some of the worst teams in Trevor Lawrence, he's not. He's shown flashes because he has time. Anthony Richard, it's another one, has time to show flashes.
Yeah.
CJ Stroud, he had time to show that he can be the guy. Bryce Young got a second, 2 seconds at most. That shit don't work that way.
Oh,
I can't believe I'm offending a
Nathan
Panther
Peterman got
player.
more time than Bryce Young.
Huh?
Nathan Peterman got more opportunity
Yeah,
than Bryce Young.
Nathan fucking Peterman he's blind. Okay, Nathan Peterman couldn't hit the broadside of a barn, but hey, he had time to show flashes. That's just the situation. It it just kills me that they bring this kid in and they didn't do anything. I mean, look what he did. Look what the Bears did for Caleb Williams. They went
Yeah.
got they already had DJ Moore. They went got Keenan Allen, and then they went drafted Roma Dunze. You already had Cole Komet, and then you went got I think did they take Mountain? They got Miles Sanders, didn't they? Or that the Panthers?
Swift.
No, they went got DeAndre Swift.
Yeah.
So you went got playmakers for your guy.
Yep.
But again, and Chicago's another problem. Their offensive line is paper mache. That's why Caleb Williams can't do what he wants to do because he's having the same problems that Bryce is having.
And
So
I do want to I do want to move on here, but like to be fair to these teams, it's not like they completely ignore the offensive line. I mean, there's draft picks, there's free agents, but offensive line it's a lot tougher than it looks, and we're definitely learning that year after year.
they got a better coach. They got to get a better O line coach. Cause some shit, there's just some things where you get what you pay for. And me personally, as an offense for an offensive line coach, I'm paying top dollar. I'm not sure
Absolutely,
changing this shit.
absolutely. Well, we spoke a bit about Ohio State receivers. We spoke a bit about Alabama receivers. Nate, let's talk a little bit about a former Clemson wide receiver, Mr. T. Higgins, finally making his return, possibly, probably Monday night here versus the Commanders. I've got a tweet here from Newsweek from Cameron Wolf. He says Bengals wide receiver T. Higgins is good to go and set to make his season debut Monday versus Commanders per head coach Zach Taylor. Higgins missed the first 2 games with a hamstring injury, but says he, quote, feels great, can go 100% since he is 0-2, but the band is back together now. So how do you feel about that one?
Cincinnati is a fucking dumpster fire right
Oh boy,
now.
they
I'm
got a
glad
good they got
I'm glad T Higgins is coming back. I just think that
almost beat the Chiefs.
your two star receivers hate you right now. Your
This-
two star T Higgins, they your two star hate you. Jamar feels like you played him. Okay, Jamar feels like you lied to him. So he don't even want to talk about an extension. You might not even get to keep Jamar Chase at the end of this goddamn season.
yeah,
Well, no, because he's still in his rookie contract. So
I
he ain't
think
got.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's very possible that you might lose. If I'm Jamar, I'm like, no, fuck you. I'm not signing shit. We don't. I'm not talking because it just this whole Cincinnati situation is just is bonkers to me. T Higgins, I think T Higgins faked the hamstring injury. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I don't think he wanted to play. And I think he was trying to I think he was trying to send a message like, look how bad your offense is without me. You have Chase, but outside of Chase, who do you have? You have
Right.
Mike Gesicki,
Yeah.
and then you got a rookie, and who they got that rookie? He from Texas, right? Because he used to play for Georgia, if I'm not
No,
mistaken.
he was at Georgia, then he went to Alabama.
Yeah,
Jermaine Burton.
right, Jermaine Burt. So you got Jermaine Burt, but he a rookie, and
Also,
then
shout out to Princeton, Andre Yovashis.
you know what? I want to tell you to stop fucking texting that goddamn name and that goddamn.
Yoshivas!
But the fact that he scored, but again, you're missing your top star. So I don't think this changed anything. I think the morale of that locker room because of the Chase situation and the T Higgins situation. I think it is a little rocky right now. I don't think we're gonna see the same sense. You know how they decide to turn it on and then they go fucking and they make a playoff run. I don't think that's gonna happen. I think this 0-2 what they're at right now is exactly who Cincinnati will be for the rest of the season. I think they win a
Oh,
couple
really?
games, but I think they win a couple games, but I don't think they become a threat. Joe Burrow don't look
No.
normal. The run game is shit.
See, I still think. I mean, um, and again, I get caught up on dumb shit, but isn't it really funny? I don't know if you've ever seen Andre Yoshivasa's picture. I mean, the guy, he's got a
I didn't know
name
the
of
fuck he
like
is.
he's got the name of a Greek explorer, but he looks like Once Upon a Time in Mexico. Like the guy is, he could be an international spy. I swear to God. But um, no, dude. When it comes to the Bengals, I mean, look, if you're gonna Ravens are 0-2.
Hmm.
Pittsburgh is being led
Two and
by
zero,
Justin Fields, who I'm not
right?
convinced anything yet, and you've got Deshaun Watson up in Cleveland.
Stink show.
No, give me the Bengals to turn this thing around and win the AFC North still for sure.
That's a bold prediction there, Colin.
I don't think the pass rush is still there with what Trey Hendrickson, that's his name I think,
Yeah, Trey
and
Henderson. I, j-
I think they
I don't
still got it
know.
now. Fantasy
I,
wise, this is if you've been if you're gonna chase these Mike Gesicki points, I do feel like that train is about to stop real quick. This is gonna be the T. Higgins show, Jamar Chase again, and Gesicki is just gonna be kind of an afterthought. But yeah, fire up your Zach
this,
Moss. There's gonna be a lot of red zone opportunity again, and here we go. Joe
what,
Burrow,
what,
baby, we're back.
I don't think so. I think them losing Joe Mixon was a. I think losing Joe Mixon was going to be a big problem because he led that rush game, and they haven't. I mean, they haven't been able to run the game with Zach Moss at all, and it it don't look normal. Something looks off with this team.
Yeah.
Even when they played the Chiefs, I mean, a lot of it, some just they don't look normal. Joe Burrow says he's healthy, but bro, I don't know.
Well, let's go through these before we look at the schedule for the week. Let's go through this injury report here and see just exactly what we're dealing with. Let me bring it up, which would be the good thing to do. Here we go.
Why?
Week
Remember when
3 injury
relevant?
report. What's up?
I say, remember when TCE was relevant?
I do remember. I mean, Andy Dalton. Speaking of which, the Red Rifle.
Oh man.
Um, let's see
Ooh.
here. Also, we've got.
So Nick Chubb is. So here's the thing with the Browns. I think once Nick Chubb gets healthy, well, once he's cleared to play, I think that might help Deshaun Watson a little bit because you Deshaun Watson is not a guy you can have throw the ball 30, 40 times a game. Because
Not anymore.
I think that's when things can just go directly off the fucking rails. Um, I think if once they get Nick Chubb back and they get that consistent run game, I think things may turn around because they were good until he got hurt last year. Well, he got hurt. Did he? When did he get hurt?
I think it was late.
It was late in the year, right? So I,
Yeah.
I think I think they looked good when he was there because that's why everybody was pulling it for them to even make the fucking AFC Championship. Then they
Yeah.
got their asses reeled by Houston, but I think Nick Chubb is going to be the difference maker in that offense.
So this one, it's a good sign that both the tackles for the Browns, Conklin and Wills, are listed as at least questionable, not out. So they might play. It looks like.
Yeah,
And David Njoku still out with a knee injury. Do you like the? I like the Browns in this matchup. Giants and Browns. Do you like the Browns?
Browns all up. Listen,
Yeah.
as long as they got Daniel Jones back there, they need to. They need to put the other guy back in. Who is the other guy
DeVito.
that they had? Huh?
DeVito.
Yes, they need to get. We need DeVito again. He had the league set. He set the league on fire for a little bit.
The 1-1 Chicago Bears travel to Indianapolis to take on the Colts. Looks like Keenan Allen is out in this one after not
Yeah,
practicing.
Keenan Allen's still out. Yeah, he
And
Roma
then
Dunze should
Michael,
be good to go.
who was that?
Roma Dunze is healthy,
Oh
so
yeah,
he's good to go.
yeah.
Um,
Badunze, he's off the injury list, but Pippen's listed here with the back and calf, so that's not good. Questionable.
yeah, that's what you. And then you got his one of his offensive linemen, Nate Davis, is a growing. Your the offensive line's already terrible. You don't need one of your linemen to be out.
I like the Bears to upset here.
I, is it really an upset though?
I think I think on the road, rookie quarterback hasn't played well.
Anthony Richardson hadn't played well either. I mean, he's had a
At
couple bright spots, so I don't know.
you like the Bears?
I'm gonna go with the Bears because their defense is better.
Okay. Jonathan Taylor, though, I mean, he gets rolling. You never know.
If he gets
Um,
rolling.
this will be exciting. Texans at the red hot Minnesota Vikings.
This is going. The problem here's the thing: no Jay Jettis.
Oh,
Well,
wait,
no,
what?
he's not on. Well, no, he's not on the list because they
Yeah,
said
Addison's out.
he hurt his oblique last week, and they didn't know how long he was going. Damn, but Jordan Addison's out, and Dallas Turner's out.
Dallas Turner's out. Mixon's out for the Texans as well as Damian Pierce. So you're probably looking at
Ooh,
Cam Akers there.
yeah. So Cam Akers gonna make his D.
I still
This
like the Texans to pull
yeah.
it out, but it'll be close.
The Vikings the Vikings got lucky last week
Wish I knew
against
what the
the
line was.
they got lucky last week against the Niners, but I don't see them getting lucky again this week.
You like the Texans?
Yeah, absolutely. Take Texas in this one.
Eagles traveled to New Orleans. The 1-1 Philadelphia Eagles taking on the undefeated New Orleans Saints.
I'm gonna let
No
you touch
AJ
this one,
Brown. CJ GJ questionable with a foot injury.
Mister. I can't make an open field tackle.
Mister, I put Bijan Robinson on his ass. On his ass, sir. Hold on, let me bring you back up on the screen. On his ass, sir. Lost my mic.
Listen, sir. Listen. Did you? He's the reason he gave up that touchdown. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, you're probably right.
How do you feel
So
about this
nobody
game?
out for the Saints. I mean, Taysom Hill's doubtful, so he's probably not going to play. But
Taysom Hill's gonna play. It's Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill don't miss games. But I mean,
doubtful's not good.
how do you feel about this game after you've seen? But I think I think the Saints are frauds, and here's why. Because Carolina, obviously, they played Carolina, and Carolina's a dumpster fire. I think Carolina's going to be a guaranteed win for anybody who plays them. The Cowboys, they beat up on a Cleveland Browns team that wasn't very good. They couldn't run the ball. If Nick Chubb was in that game, I think it'd have been a different. Again, Nick Chubb is going to be the difference in that offense. But I do believe that you guys can beat this team. And I say that not because I hate the Saints, because I do, but I think your defense is better than the Cowboys. I think your defensive line is better. Nick Sirianni just needs to put his head out of his ass and take the points when he needs to stop fucking listening to analytics and stop going for it on fourth and short. If it's late in the game and you need it, cool. I understand. But if it's in the first quarter, do you really need it? It's not necessary. But
Yeah, I'm worried about it's a barn burner. The Eagles and Saints, they're matching points. It gets late in the fourth quarter. The Saints got good DBs. Jalen makes a play he shouldn't, and all of a sudden Tyrann Mathieu, something like that, a pick that seals the game.
them other guys are going to have to step up because Devontae Smith can't do this by himself. You you're going to need Jahan
That's it.
Dotson to make plays.
Yes, yes, Dallas Goddard. You
Yeah,
know,
they're going to have those guys are going to have to step up in order because I could tell you like it got to a point where on Monday it looked like they realized like this is pointless. Like we can't keep force feeding Devontae. Like we got to get other people involved and sure shit, they didn't step up. So it's you're gonna need he's gonna need help. Without AJ Brown, they're gonna need help.
The 2-0 Jim Harbaugh, Los Angeles Chargers, or John Harbaugh, Harbaugh.
Yeah.
John Harbaugh led Los Angeles Chargers travel to Pittsburgh to take on the also 2-0 Battle of the Undefeateds here, Pittsburgh Steelers with Justin Fields. The only people, that's kind of a big deal for Pittsburgh. We've got rookie first round pick Troy Fautanu
Ooh.
is going to miss this one with a knee, and then the guard as well, former Eagle Isaac Semalu is going to be out with his
I'm surprised
pectoral.
Justin Herbert's not on this list because I heard he had an ankle injury.
Yeah,
Oh, he
Herbert
is on
missed.
there. He's
Oh,
questionable.
there you go. Yeah, questionable.
He's questionable. I I mean, damn, they got a lot of questionables. Bud Dupree,
Yeah,
they got a safety corner. I think these guys are probably like, I. This is gonna be one of those boring ass run the ball defensive type games. Because you got two guys in John Harbaugh and fucking Mike Tomlin who like those greedy. They like those greedy games. They like the games where they just gotta run, 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 run.
yeah,
Justin Fields, I don't like Justin Fields. I don't like what they're doing with him. They're babying him, and they're letting just do what you need to do. That's it. We don't need you to do anything more than that.
yeah. I'd be surprised if this one didn't have one of the lower over unders in the entire week. And doesn't Herbert kind of like the plantar fascia? Isn't that kind of like the same thing Keenan Allen's dealing with?
Yeah, something like. But thought he was a heel injury. But here's the thing: because of that ankle injury, that's gonna make T.J. Watt. T.J. Watt's gonna he's gonna have a big he's gonna have a fun day because if that ankle hurts in any way, shape, or form, he's not gonna be able to run on that. He's not running away from TJ. It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah. Joe Alt looking real good for the Chargers. They got
Oh
I
yeah,
believe
for
it's what
he is.
Slater on the other side.
I've
So
watched a couple of his. I've watched some of his highlights, dude. Joe Alt was a fucking steal. Just-
so
he's
this
gonna have
battle
you.
between those two and TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith is going to be a lot of fun to watch.
It is going to be a fun if you're a trench guy, this is going to be the game you're going to want to watch.
Oh yeah. Hayward on the inside.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say I gotta probably take the Chargers in this one. I think that they are going to run the ball effectively, and their quarterback does more. Like it's not gonna be nickel and dime and rely on the run. So I think the Chargers probably gonna pull up victory out in this one.
Over under half a touchdown for Quentin Johnston.
I'm gonna go over. I'm
Hey,
gonna go over. After the two touch he had two touchdowns last week. I think that they're going to get him. I mean, I think he might have learned how to catch in the offseason. So there's that. I think this might be his time to break out.
the
This is
winless
just
Bo
it's
Nix
gonna be a
led
goddamn slaughter.
Denver Broncos traveling to Tampa Bay to take on the undefeated Buccaneers. Only injuries for this one looks like the talented safety Antoine Winfield Jr. is going to miss yet again. Vita Vea is going to miss this game along with
Damn.
offensive tackle Luke Kadecki. So that
Ooh,
does
that's a
suck for the
lot. That's a lot, day, man. That's a lot of outs. That is a
that
lot
sucks
of
for the
outs right
Bucs.
there. Yeah, it does. That's a
But
lot. The
have to
Broncos are
imagine,
trash.
still with the skill players there, and Bo Nix still struggling to find a rhythm with Sutton and those guys and Javante Williams to get going. It's still going to be
It's gonna be
somewhat easy day for the Buccaneers.
yeah. It's gonna be a simple day for them. They don't have nothing to worry about.
The Malik Willis revenge game about to go down as the 1-1 Green Bay Packers travel to Tennessee to take on the winless Titans and Will
Tennessee
Levis
get the
over there.
victory. Tennessee gets the victory.
You like the Titans here?
I like the Titans here because Malik Willis is trash. Okay. There's a reason why Tennessee gave up on that project. That is a project you give up on because he's had opportunity after opportunity to show you he has it, and he fucking failed. So This is gonna be a game where the Titans be like, hey, we're gonna show you why we let you go. Because they're gonna have to rely on Josh Jacobs, and I don't think that's gonna be enough to beat this team. Unless Mr. Mailman himself decides to do some dumb shit like he's done the last 2 weeks and cost his team the game. That's the only problem I have is Will Levis he has mayo in his brain or something because some of the shit that here's the thing. I hate that his coach had to apologize for what he said because I'm gonna tell you like this.
Too harsh.
Fuck no. Every everybody in that stadium, everybody in that stadium said the exact same thing that the head coach said. So why
Yep.
am I apologizing for something that you and 65,000 other people said, why do I have to apologize? Because the camera's in my face? I'd have told them I'm not apologizing. No, that's fucking bullshit. Why? Why first of all, I watched the play because I didn't know what no, I just kept hearing the shit. I'm like, what the fuck did Will Levis do? Because we all saw the snake pose that he did when he threw that dumbass pick six. I'm like, okay, what the fuck did he do? Could have been so bad. And I looked and I'm like, why is he playing? Why is he pretending to be Superman in the middle of the game and then fumbles the ball? I'm like, what the fuck is he? Okay, yeah, that would have been me. I'd have grabbed him by his shoulder pads and I'd have had to give him shaking baby syndrome because there's no fucking way. There's no, there's no way. There's no way I am putting this product out on the field for you to embarrass me this way. There's no way. And then I gotta apologize for what I said. No, no, I'm sorry. You kiss my ass. No. I,
One of the more frustrating. I mean, speaking talk, you want to talk about flashes? I mean, Will Levis will make a
yeah.
throw that makes you go, "Holy shit!" I mean, this guy should have gone ahead of Bryce
First.
Young and C.J. Stroud.
And then
And
you
then the
see
next thing you
shit.
know, he's rolling out to his left and he's flicking the ball forward for a pick six. It's like it's the craziest shit you've ever seen.
Here's the
Like
problem that I
Pee
have. You
Wee
don't get up.
footballers wouldn't do the stuff that he does.
You don't get up to chase the to get the call. You don't get up and chase to try to prevent a touchdown. You remain on your knees, okay, with your hands on your head like a dumbass.
Oh
Bro,
man.
listen to
So
me. I'm still gonna take the Titans because Malik Willis is a liability at the quarterback position, and he is not. He got lucky last week. The defense stepped up, and they were able to control the clock with Josh Jacobs. I don't think they're gonna be able to do that this week because I think Tennessee is gonna be like, look, we are gonna make you fuckers throw the ball. He's gonna have to show us he can beat us with his arm because we're not letting Josh Jacobs run for 140 yards. Sorry, not gonna happen.
Malik Willis now has a career ratio of 1 touchdown to 3 interceptions.
And he's been in the league what 2 years now, 3 years.
I think three.
Oh
Packers are going to be
man,
missing their rookie offensive lineman Jordan Morgan, and Jordan Love's probably not going to play.
I think they already said Jordan Love's not playing. I don't know why it's still listed as questionable here, but he's not playing. Yeah, they saying Malik was gonna be the starter, so yeah, he's out.
Moving on to the aforementioned sad, terrible, leaderless, winless, rudderless Carolina Panthers,
They're gonna be 0-3
uh,
after this game.
led by the Red Rifle Rooster, Andy Dalton, traveling to Vegas to take on Max Crosby, Kristen Wilkins, and the boys. Gardner
I
Minshew.
forgot they had Christian Wilkins there.
Yeah.
What, bro? I'm gonna pray for Andy. I'm gonna pray for Andy Dalton because man, they better hope them que-
Each of these
they better hope
linemen.
they better hope those questionables turn out because if not, it's a long day for that offensive line.
Looks like the Panthers are going to be without Shy Tuttle, defensive tackle. The Raiders are going to be without linebacker Divine Diablo. DeCamarion Richardson is doubtful, and then
I
Crosby, Tyree Wilson, and Christian Wilkins are all questionable.
I think if you hit doubtful, I think you're not gonna play. I think if
Yeah.
you're doubtful, you're not gonna play. But the thing is, if I'm Carolina, and I'm the offensive line, the offensive coach, the offensive line coach, I am praying that Max Crosby, Christian Wilkins are all out. That they say, you know what, it shit hurt too much, we can't go.
And this is going to be one of the 4 o'clock games. That's tough
Of
to
course, it's
hide.
a
We're going to
four.
be
Of course, it's
seeing
a
one of
four
these
o'clock
games quite
game.
a bit.
So everybody's gonna go to watch him get his ass whipped. Yeah, no, that's. And then there's
And
this.
speaking of backup quarterbacks, Skylar Thompson steps in for the concussed Tua Tagovailoa, travels all the way across the country to take on the 12th man, the Seattle Seahawks, 2-0 under Geno Smith and Mike McDonald doing a great job over there in Seattle. Dolphins are going to be without wide receiver Grant DuBose, Mostert,
Damn.
and Malik Washington are doubtful. Seahawks are
They're
going to be
probably not
without
gonna play.
Uchenna Nwosu, George Fant, doubtful, Kenneth Walker, Jerome Baker,
They're not gonna play.
questionable, Laviska
Y-
Shenault, Farrell Brown, Derek Hall, Boye Mafi, and Kayvon Wallace is okay. Didn't even know that. That's
What
cool.
the hell is happening over in Seattle? That
Yeah, jeez.
that this is what I meant to ask you. What do you think? What do you think, in your opinion, Tua should do after the four concussions he's had? He's had four concussions in 2 years.
I would hang it up. That really, we watched it. Wasn't a hard hit at all.
Mm-mm. No, I
Um,
don't. I mean, it wasn't like a knee or helmet to helmet. It's literally like his head just hit the bicep of the safety, and then he went out.
I think he just got the extension this year, right?
Yeah,
Or
he got it this. Yeah, he got it this offseason.
yeah. So I'm not. Again, you only get so much money if you don't play. I understand that he's not going to get the entire contract, but
I think most of it was
man,
guaranteed though.
yeah, exactly. So you're talking about the difference between the next time that happens, maybe you don't wake up and just walking away with what you got now. I'd be pretty tempted to just walk away.
Yeah, because I mean, shit, he four concussions in the last two, and the thing is, it's not like they're like normal concussions. Like, um, you know, you get up and you're a little wobbly. Like you seized up, my boy. Like every time you've had a concussion, you've seized up each time,
Yeah,
which tells me this isn't like there's something going on in your head, and you need to say you got to think about your future.
you seized up, you passed out, your brain's losing oxygen. You don't. If you can avoid brain damage, by all means, please do it.
Yeah, I would just if I'm them, I'm just like, look. And the thing is, I don't think he's going to. I think he's going to, you know, take time off, miss 4, 5 games tops, and then he's going to be like, all right, I'm cleared to go. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Which is going to suck because I can see another concussion.
And I made the comment in one of our group chats that like I could see these skull cap things that the players wear, their concussion pad, whatever they want to call them, the
The
caps that they
Guardian
go on top of
caps.
their helmet. Yeah, the Guardian caps. I could see him being treated like the mask during the COVID era, and one of our people in the group chat kind of sent me a message like, "Oh, it basically was like, where the fuck are you coming from with this?" But it's like my thing is, so once people were wearing their masks, right? And
Mm-hmm.
they got sick even when they were wearing their masks. Okay, well,
Mm-hmm.
what's the answer to that? 2 masks. Well,
Mm-hmm.
there's gonna come a point where one of these guys is wearing a guardian cap, and he's still gonna get a fucking concussion. Like that's just
And
the
it,
nature of the beast.
it's nature of the
So
beast.
then, what are you gonna say?
One of the Steelers offensive line wore that shit week one against us. He had that dumbass guardian cap on. It's like, why the fuck would just, bro? If they don't protect, it's just padding. The thing is this: your brain is shifting, motherfucker. Like putting padding on is not going to keep your brain from shifting.
Right?
Okay, like I could put a fucking pad on and hit you in your head with a bat. And guess what? Your brain's still gonna fucking move.
Yeah. So if it was that good, I mean, just put it on the inside of the helmet, right? It's just,
Exactly. Not on the
I just,
outside.
it's one of those things that looks good. It gives people like the aesthetic pleasure. Oh, they're trying. They're doing something, and
No,
it's
it's
not.
it's stupid, it's dumb, and it looks fucking retarded. So
Yeah.
that's just what it
So that's
is.
that. Just wanted to get that out there. Seahawks are going to win this game. Seahawks look great.
Yeah, for
They're a
sure.
good. They're excellent
Yeah.
dark horse pick for.
Skylar Thompson or whatever the fuck his name is, he's not throwing. Fuck me, man. I got Tyreek.
Oh yeah, yeah, and Christian McCaffrey. You're having a tough year. Two guys who should be dominating, losing your dynasty league.
You know what? It
Shifting
is what it is.
gears to the Detroit Lions, 1-1, traveling to Arizona to take on the 1-1 feisty Cardinals. Marvin
I think
Harrison Jr. and
it was
Kyler
a fluke.
Murray showing us what they got in this
It
last
was a
game against
fluke.
the Rams. Holy
It was a
moly!
it was a fluke. It
I
was a
think
fluke
Marvin
game.
Harrison broke records in the first quarter.
It was a fluke game. That's not gonna happen again. Arizona's not that good. Arizona got lucky, and for whatever reason, the the Los Angeles Rams didn't think that after Kyler's comments, oh, they're gonna throw, they're not gonna throw him the ball. We're just gonna leave him open. Did you watch that game by the
I,
chance?
I
I
do. I
watched that
think.
game, and I watched every touchdown that he caught. I'm like, why is there not a defender within 5 yards of this man?
Yeah. No, I think you're
Anybody?
right. I think it was definitely a fluky game, particularly the second touchdown Harrison got. It was like he was
Scramble
working for his
drill.
own defense, and the defender didn't really know. Like by the time he found Harrison, he
He
was already
ran
too late.
past him.
Yeah,
They listen. I don't care if Kyler's running. Okay, you stick with this man. You, I don't care. Stick. I will. I've always when I played safety and corner, my coach told me this. I don't give a fuck what's going on behind you. If you're on this number one receiver, you stay. I don't give a fuck if the quarterback's running behind you. You stick with him. You need to be hip to hip with him. Because if not, my foot in your ass. Guess what? I don't care if there's a scramble drill going on behind me. I'm not leaving this motherfucker's side. I didn't understand it is how you run past Marvin Harris Jr. to go get Kyler. Realize, oh shit, he's still behind the line of scrimmage. Stop and turn around. And it no, you know, I'm sorry. I give up. No, you're an idiot. That's why I say I think the Lions didn't plan for Marvin Harrison to get the ball, especially because he only had what one catch for 4 yards in his first game.
yeah,
So I don't think the game plan. I think that the Lions are going to be a little smarter, and I don't think it's going to happen this time. Plus,
yeah.
the
I mean,
defensive line
Lions.
is better.
It's just one of those teams where I mean, even when they're not, if the passing game's not working, they proved in that Rams overtime game they can just put in David Montgomery and shove it down your throat all the way down the fucking field if they want to.
Exactly. That's exactly what I think. I don't think the Cardinals defense is as good as they showed against the Rams.
Yeah,
I think the Rams just had an off day. I mean, Puka Nakua, Cooper Cup left what the second like before the second half started. So they were out they didn't have Cooper Cup. So now their offense. So I think this offense is gonna be better. And I need Jameson Williams and Amon Ra to have a game because I have them in my other league, and I need them to fucking produce because I've lost two straight already.
tell you what, Nate, I've never been a bigger Baltimore Ravens fan than I will be on Sunday.
100%, one
The
hundred percent.
0-2 Baltimore Ravens travel to Dallas, to Jerry World, to take on Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. They
Great.
are going to be without one of their guards. Kyle Van Noy, Deontay Hardy, and Nate Wiggins are all questionable. And then for the Cowboys side of it, only Jalen Brooks and John Stevens Jr. and Mozzie Smith are questionable. So that
My prediction for this game is going to be Derrick Henry is going to have 80 yards and two touchdowns.
nice.
I think he goes
How
for 80
about
yards, two touchdowns on
Jake
that drive.
Ferguson missing the injury report entirely after that bad injury? What, a week ago or 2 weeks ago?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Cowboys tight end. That's pretty
yeah.
impressive.
I don't see Baltimore leaving without a victory. I don't see them going 0-3. If they go 0-3, that's their season. But I don't see Baltimore going into Dallas and then walking out, especially with Lamar and the way that defense played last week. If you this is one thing I didn't understand like as a coach. Um if the team we playing got beat by more than 20 points the week before, I'm watching that whole tape. I'm mimicking exactly what the other team did, and I'm going to do exactly what the fuck they did.
Oh
And
yeah.
what they did when a lot of times when I've seen the Cowboys get blown out, it's because they attack Micah. They go straight down his fucking face every time. And that's exactly what they did. They went at Micah and Micah couldn't do shit about it.
Yep.
That Micah was helpless. If you put him into a situation where he knows it's coming his way, he's not gonna be effective.
It's almost demoralizing to him too. It's like he
Yeah.
knows there's nothing he can do about it, and he kind of just like gives
It
up.
it happened this year. It happened again. It happened when they played Green Bay. It happened when they played the Niners last year. Like they attack him, put him in coverage, run the ball to him. He's not that guy. He's not like a Khalil Mack.
Right.
He's not like a guy or Aaron Donald where if you run that ball directly to him, he's gonna put a stop to the shit. No,
Yeah.
you got and
Hey, what do
his
you?
thing. Hmm?
I know. Well, I was gonna ask. I'm watching. I sort of just was like watching the Panthers highlights from last week against the Chargers just to see how it played out and Bryce Young and everything. Like Xavier Clowney still catches my eye as a defender, and he's still making plays. And I just wonder if there's a trade that Howie could pull off, bring him into Philadelphia, and just really get this
Listen,
pass rush going, man.
listen. No, okay. At some point, they need to put Howie Roseman ass away, okay? Because I don't eat Howie Roseman. He's either a pimp or he has dirt on other GMs because there's no way that he pulls the trades off that he pulls off. Okay, you got AJ Brown for a bag of chips. Okay, you got what was that Kevin Byard for a bag of chips. Okay, somehow you managed to draft Jalen Carter, and Nolan Smith all in the same fucking round
Yeah.
in the same draft
Yeah.
somehow.
I'd
No,
love to give him more credit if it was all paying off.
I'm sorry, but it doesn't work out for me that way. Like Harry Roseman needs to sit his ass down somewhere. But I think the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys lose. I think this is gonna be. This is not gonna be a shootout. This is it's gonna be one of those things where I think they go into Dallas and they beat Dallas. Dallas lose two straight.
Just get like a 24 to 10 lead
No,
and just
it's
sit
gonna
on
be
it.
yeah, something like that. I think it's gonna be at least a two-score game because Dallas don't bounce back from ass whippings. They don't. I don't think I've ever seen them unless they had an easy team the next week. I don't see this team bouncing back from an ass whipping like they got last week.
What do you think's happening in the backfield? Do you think Zeke is losing the job to Dowdle or just kind of murky right now?
They got a bunch of shit backs. Period. Jerry Jones. They should have drafted a running back instead of deciding to keep the shit that they had. They have shit for right now for running backs. Okay, their secondary is even worse. Okay, even with Trayvon Diggs back, there's shit. And even when Deron Blanc comes back, it's still gonna be shit because you have one pass rusher, and that's Micah Parsons. What happened to what's his face? You paid
Lawrence?
him that money. What happened to Marcus Lawrence? You paid him that money. What the fuck happened to him? Is he even did he even still play for the team?
I haven't watched their games fully. I'm not sure entirely.
It's like what the fuck happened? Like, all I know is I think this season is going to be the last season that we see Mike McCarthy as a Cowboys
Oh,
head coach.
okay.
Um, obviously
Gotta be right.
Dak and CD re-sign. Um, I don't really know where you go from here as a Cowboys fan or just the
Well, they both,
Cowboys organization.
yeah, they both got their contracts, but McCarthy
Yeah.
didn't.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to re-sign McCarthy, but yeah, Ravens win that game by at least two scores.
Okay. The 1-1 San Francisco 49ers, no Debo, no CMC, traveling to LA to take on another beat up team. No Puka, no Cooper Cup. I mean, a
They're gonna
couple
rely on a
offensive
black
linemen
guy.
missing.
Tutu Atwell, and a lot of those young guys are gonna have to step up. But the Niners are gonna come away with this one. This is
That's
gonna
right.
be a clown.
No George Kittle for this one either. He's out
Yeah.
with a hamstring.
George Kittle's a blocking tight end. Let's just be real. George Kittle is not. He's not a Travis Kelsey. Okay.
Sir,
He's
sir,
not a
he's a
no
couple
no
seasons removed from
no
leading the league in
no
yardage.
no. We're not. Nope. Nope. That's what we're not gonna do. Couple that. How long ago was that? What? 3 years ago? 4 years
It was
ago?
only a couple. Nate, George
No,
Kittle is
no.
he's an all
George
around
Kittle.
tight end.
George Kittle is a blocking tight end with that stupid ass helmet. He's a blocking tight end. Okay, George Kittle. He has explosive games every once in a while. He had what, the 4 touchdown game against Dallas last year. Does he have any touchdowns this year?
I think you're getting it
No,
twisted. I think you're mistaking
no,
a tight
no,
end who is good at
no,
blocking for a blocking tight end.
no. He's a blocking tight end. That's what he is. That's what he is. Him in that goofy ass helmet that he wears. He's a blocking tight end. He is. I say this not because he killed my fantasy team last year, but he's a blocking tight end. I do
Look, I
not
get it.
believe.
Look,
I do
you've
not
had
believe in
Kyle
George
Pitts,
Kittle.
you've had Algie Crumpler, who wasn't much of a blocker himself. You're just not used to seeing a tight end who can block. I get it, but George Kittle is a fantastic blocking and receiving tight end.
If you
Yeah,
say so,
I
sir.
understand. It's been a while.
If you say
Tony
so.
Gonzalez, he was there. You go. That's the last time Falcons saw a good all-around tight end.
I don't believe in George Kittle. George Kittle is going to have to show me that he is that guy. But obviously, he has a hamstring injury. So Debo's out, Kittle's out. So you
Yes.
have Ayuk and Jawan Jennings.
Yep. Jordan Mason.
I mean Jordan Mason. That yeah. I'm gonna say this is probably gonna be one of those low
Kyle Juszczyk's
scoring.
gonna get about 3 or 4 catches.
Yeah, this is gonna be one of those low scoring games, but I think the Niners are probably they're gonna sneak out with one.
You like the Niners?
Yeah, I do, especially with Cooper Cup and Puka Nakua being out, and yeah, I just Stafford's only going to be able to do so much.
You know who was back from suspension?
Who?
Jimmy G.
Ain't
Just in
nobody-
case something happens to Stafford, the season is still afloat, baby.
They got I mean, they still got Stetson Bennett.
And they
So
got
Stetson,
Ben.
who cares about Ben?
Um, so what you like the Niners? You said?
Yeah, I like the Niners in this one.
Yeah, me
Niners
too.
to win this one.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I like this. See that?
Oh boy. Here we go.
Nothing. NA for both teams. I don't want to hear shit from nobody. NA from both teams. I don't want to hear shit from nobody. Problem I'm having with this one is the only thing I have is we don't fare well when we have to play the refs. Okay. We all know it happens. We all know every time, occasionally, not occasionally, most of the time the Chiefs get favorable calls, especially with Patrick Mahomes, bitch ass. But
Here.
I think I'm gonna go with Colin because what Colin said, I don't really agree with a lot of things he said, but I'm going to go with this one. I think that we sneak one out. It'd be like a 3 point. It's gonna be just like the Eagles game.
Are you talking about
But
Colin Cowherd?
yes, I am.
I fucking hate how much you listen to goddamn Colin Cowherd. Dude, stop listening to Colin Cowherd.
Listen,
Swear to God.
I don't agree with a lot of things that he said. There's some things he said is kind of off the wall. But
Oh,
then
but
there's some
anytime
things
he's got something good to say about the Falcons, you tune right in.
it is not even just like there's sometimes where he'll say things that I agree with. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. This one in particular, like we talked about earlier, Patrick Mahomes is not playing his best football right now. He's high on turnovers. He's not really high on passing touchdowns and passing yards. So um the defense is I think this is gonna be a game where Kyle Pitts can shine because they suck at covering tight ends. They give up the most points fantasy wise towards tight ends.
Okay.
So I think this
Yeah, I
will be the
mean,
game
think about that first game there. Likely had a big game.
because Mike Gesicki, he had a decent game against them. I
Yep.
think this would be a game where Kyle Pitts can shine. And hell, even Drake London, if they play the middle, I think they can do it. But Bijan is going to be the key to this whole situation,
Yeah.
is how well he runs against his chief defense. And because I already know Patrick Mahomes is probably going to carve my fucking secondary up. I know this because we're not going to get a pass rush, but we're going to have to be able to keep up. Just like we kept up with the Eagles, we're going to have to keep up until we get the ball with whatever's left on the clock.
I
So
think you have to. It's going to be tough because I think both Simmons and Bates, at this point in Kelsey's career, each of those guys could cover him one on one.
yeah,
I don't think it'd be much of an
mm,
issue. The problem is you bring them down, now all of a sudden, Worthy's over the top and Rasheed Rice is doing his crossing route bullshit. So you just
yep.
got to be weary of that. But I really think they can like man up at certain points and bring the pressure and get sacks. But you
But,
just got to know
but
when to do it.
but what I noticed last week, I didn't. They didn't use Xavier Worthy at all last week.
Yeah, you had a quiet week.
Yeah, he didn't. There was not a lot of that little trickery shit that they were. Rasheed Rice is the one that had the big game.
Yeah.
So I think the biggest thing is we're not concerned about the route running of Xavier Worthy. It's the speed. It's him getting behind us. Is going to be the issue. So I
I almost
think
wonder if they wouldn't just match Terrell up on Rice and kind of just like maybe bracket Worthy.
I think that's probably what it's going to do. I think they might keep too high safety. Maybe they might go the one safety with just to sit over the top, just so he doesn't get behind him. But
Yeah.
you never know. I think AJ Terrell stays on Rasheed Rice, and then we just double or we just keep a bracket on Xavier Worthy so he doesn't, you know, burn us behind, beat us deep. And then Travis Kelsey, yeah, I think he's not going to be a big factor. And then Noah Zay Pacheco.
No Pacheco. And boy, isn't that fucking crazy that that just came out of your mouth? Like,
What?
it's been forever and it feels like it's been due for a long time. But for you to say, I just feel like Travis Kelce's not going to be much of a factor is, well, I imagine the last time you said that. It's just fucking crazy.
Never. No. I mean, the thing is, like, he's what, 35 now?
Yeah.
That's old for a tight end. Like, that's
Yeah, no,
you.
I mean,
You yeah, that's Antonio Gates' age when he decided to give it up. So I think that he's not going to be that because I mean he's not going to be that big. He's going to be a threat. Like if they get to the red zone, he may be a threat. But I think as far as like anything outside of the red zone, I think we'll be fine.
yeah.
But we have to get pressure.
All eyes of the fantasy world will be watching to see who gets more work between undrafted rookie Carson Steele and veteran Samaje Perine. What does Kareem Hunt, does he get in the mix his
No,
first week
they said he.
back?
Nope, they said they're not they're not elevating him. They say he's gonna stay on the practice squad.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's gonna be between those two guys, and I think because Isaiah Pacheco is not playing, because I hate like he runs like he bites people, and I don't like the way I don't like him. I was kind of happy that they said he was not gonna be here, so I'm like, yes, that's one less thing to worry about, and I think at this point we force Patrick Mahomes to throw the ball and we put as much pressure on him as we can to make mistakes.
Yeah.
So hopefully we game plan and they understand that Chris Jones has to be neutralized. But I don't, we forgot TJ Watt existed and he just wrecked our whole game plan. So, never know. Who knows?
Then the Monday night football to wrap up week 3, we have the 0-2 Jacksonville Jaguars traveling to take on the 2-0 Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen and the boys just getting it done, breaking all the narratives. Who needs Stephon Diggs? Who needs weapons? I got Khalil Shakir here and there, and I got Keon Coleman once in a while, and I got James Cook's dominating in the backfield. So Von Miller, for God's sakes, is playing good defense again. So who knows with this Bills team? Super Bowl contender.
This is trash. I have Evan Ingram and
Oh, forgot about the
three fucking
doubleheader.
he's missed three fucking games already.
Yeah.
How you
Yeah,
get hurt?
fantasy wise,
He's been
Ingram's been
he's been
frustrating.
out.
Brenton Strange, hopefully, yeah,
He Him and Keon Coleman, fuck both of them. Fuck both of them. That's how I feel about that. Because he was supposed to be Keon Coleman was supposed to be the guy, and he's turning out to not be that guy.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think this is going to be, much of a Gabe Davis revenge game. No narrative there. Christian
No.
Kirk has just been downright awful for fantasy. I mean, speaking of Evan Ingram, so Brian Thomas has been the one lone spot in that receiver core for the Jags. He's definitely been someone
Trevor Trevor Lawrence is terrible, man. He's
as
playing
he's been
terrible
terrible,
football,
and he's
man.
the prestige of the number one overall pick and Doug Peterson and
He got
everything was
paid.
supposed to work out together, and it just hasn't.
No, it just it looks he looks like he's regressing, and nothing looks like that $200 million they paid him or however much. It doesn't. Yeah, I'm only gonna go with the Bills by default because Jacksonville just they don't have a shot. Their defense is shoddy, and it just I don't trust Jacksonville.
No. And then on to I forgot all about the doubleheader Monday Night Football. Not the last game. We
This is
move on
odd.
to the 1-1 Washington Commanders, traveling to Cincinnati to take on the winless Bengals. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, as we mentioned before, T. Higgins looking to make his return. So here we go. Out for the Commanders, defensive end Cleveland Farrell, former Clemson Tiger, and then the Bengals, Tanner Hudson, tight end is going to be out, and Sheldon Rankins, defensive lineman's out, B.J. Hill doubtful, and then their Chris Jenkins questionable with a thumb, and Von Bell questionable
So,
with a back.
so basically, most of their defense is on the injury report.
Yeah, looks like essentially. Boy, I call me crazy. I know the momentum's not in their favor, but Higgins coming back. Um, Back in the jungle, you got the Commanders playing ugly ball. They got their win against the Giants, but nothing really to write home about. I'm all over the Bengals on this one.
Yeah, that's not even a question. The Commanders look terrible. They look terrible against Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They look terrible against the Giants. Jal- Jaden Daniels is going to get himself hurt before his career fucking starts. This isn't college, okay? You need to slide. He got his ass hit last week, and I was like, "Fuck!" Well, there goes my fucking fantasy quarterback. But somehow he's gonna have to figure it out.
You think Higgins gets a score first game back?
Yeah,
Me too.
absolutely. I
I'd put
think
that
Joe
one in
Bur-
DraftKings for
I think
sure.
I think Joe Burrow throws for three, at least three touchdowns
Oh,
against this bum ass secondary that the Commanders have. But again, I've been wrong before, and Joe Burrow has let me down before. So
yeah,
I,
unless you're
I
the New York Giants. I mean, if you're doing a survivor pool and you're looking for teams to win each week, it seems like taking whoever's playing either the Commanders or the Panthers is going to be a good bet.
yeah, because there's no way that I don't see the Commanders beating them, and everyone's seeing why we fired Dan Quinn, and he shouldn't be a head coach. So y'all gonna figure that out really quickly with the Commanders. So y'all enjoy that Dan Quinn experience.
I'm going to say 20-13 on this one, Nate.
You said 22,
No, 20-13.
20. Ooh, nah, I gotta make it a 14-point game. Yeah, I don't see it being that close. I don't see it being a 7-point game.
Okay.
That would mean Jade Daniels would actually have to play quarterback for that to happen. I don't see that happening.
He's going to run
Uh,
about 16 times, probably
they
86
got
yards.
they're gonna have to roll his ass off the fucking field. Um,
Austin Eckler catch 4 passes. Austin Eckler, who you traded away, you
Austin,
fool.
Austin Eckler's, what has he done, Nathan? He has done absolutely nothing for me. Okay, he's done nothing for no one. He doesn't even have a
When Frank
touchdown
Gore
yet.
Jr. is scoring
Hey,
touchdowns left and right for the Bills
hey,
next season,
he he's going to he's going to sit there, and I'm going. Hey, if I gotta let him go, I gotta let him go. That's all that matters. If I gotta let him go, I gotta let him go. But I didn't want Austin Eckler because I had Austin Eckler last year on my fantasy, and he sabotaged my whole goddamn season because I was relying on him to be that guy. But dude, for whatever reason, when I decided to draft people like this season, I take AJ Brown. AJ Brown gets hurt. I take Jordan Love. Jordan Love gets hurt. It's like, what the fuck is happening to my team right now?
You're one of those
I,
fantasy reapers, huh?
I get Christian McCaffrey for the first time in 2 years. He's on IR. I get Tyreek Hill for the first time ever. Fucking Tua goes down. Fuck me, right?
I
What did
think
I
so,
do
fairly.
to the fantasy gods? Because this is bullshit.
I think
So,
so.
whatever. It is what it is. We'll figure it out.
Um, before we get out of here, Nate, I do want to mention that the WNBA playoffs are about to get started.
Oh my God.
Anything you wanna any words of
Yes.
encouragement for ladies?
I don't have encouragement, but I have to say this. Caitlin Clark is the rookie of the year and has been a rookie of the year since the Olympic break. Okay, 9 injuries, double, Pat Stad Naz. It's been Caitlin Clark, 100%. And here's the even bigger thing. If she can get her team deep into the playoffs, and I think she will, because I think when she's playing at a high level, I think this team follows and they follow suit. I think they can make it to the conference finals. That's it. Them two right there, them two bad motherfuckers right there. Listen, when these two are together, when they are clicking, it's a problem for that league.
We talked about this when she got drafted, and I knew Boston was already on the fever. I was like, dude, these two are gonna be Stockton and Malone. It's gonna be fun to watch, and I haven't
Yeah.
watched hardly any of them, but I need to.
And then who's the other one? Who's the other one? The other black chick that's on it. I think she's a shooting guard. Um, I can't think of her name. But when they're the fucking together, when that whole team is clicking, it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a problem for this league. And even if they don't make the conference finals, they're gonna have a lot of momentum going into next season. And it's just there's gonna be a team you're not gonna want to deal with. They starting 1-8 is crazy. Okay, they started 1-8 and now they're in the playoffs. No one's who the fuck saw that.
That is nuts.
That
Looks like we also
this is
have
gonna
the
be their problem.
Liberty. You got the Aces. You've got the Connecticut.
The Aces is gonna be an issue. Asia
Yeah.
Wilson is gonna be a problem. But if I had to be a bet man, I would say Caitlin Clark can get her team to she can get them to the conference finals. I don't think they're gonna be a one and done team. Because I mean, I think is the Chicago Sky. Did the Chicago Sky make it, or I don't think they made the playoffs.
Let's see. The Lynx, the Dream, Liberty, the Aces. I don't think
No,
so.
I don't think they made it. The Lynx are gonna be a problem.
The
But
Storm.
I say what I say. I think the Indiana Fever make it to the conference finals.
I like it. I like it. I like it. All right, my friend. Anything else before we get out of here?
No, no, no. I don't have anything else. I said my piece. The whole Bryce Young situation is fucking awful. It's terrible what that young man is going through, and I think this is one of the reasons why people don't have loyalty to teams is because when shit goes bad, you become the scapegoat. Like
Yeah.
you're the problem. It's not us. We're not the problem. You're the problem. Even though we have done nothing to set you up for success, you're the problem. So I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of people are like fuck these teams and they decide to go and leave and don't want to stay. Like the man behind me, this guy right here, Saquon, right here. We saw on national TV what his team did to him. National fucking TV. We heard the conversation and everything. and they was just like, go ahead and test the waters and see what happens. And now he ends up with the division rival.
Yep.
Okay, that's it's shit like that. So, um, I'm really interested to see what happens with the Carolina Panthers the rest of the season because we all know Andy Dalton. We know he's gonna have a 3 game skid where he looks like absolute dog shit.
Yep.
So, as a head coach, do you pull him?
I hate what they did in Carolina. I hate bringing in Drake May for the end of that Jets game. Made no sense at all. So
These,
these
they may-
coaches really just gotta
I
patch it
understand,
up as far as decision making.
and I get it, and I get it. I get it. It's you have that pressure of win now or I'm fired. I
Yeah.
understand that, but at the same time, if you make a stupid ass mistake, like let's say Drake May gets hurt, or let's say Drake May's first pass as a pro as a pick six, now you
Yeah.
look like the dickhead, and now you have to explain why he got put in the game.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a very interesting to watch and see what happens. I don't think Drake May sees the field again, but it's the NFL. You never know.
And if the Falcons come out of this weekend and they lost, if they lose to the Chiefs, it's like, all right, well, they played the best team in the NFL. They gave it a run. Who knows? Yada yada yada. But if
As
the Chiefs, or I mean, excuse
if
me,
the
if the
Chief, if
Eagles, if the Eagles come out of this weekend
y'all
after
cannot
getting
lose to the
their
Chiefs,
asses handed to them by the Saints, it's going to be
you
good night
no
in Philadelphia.
no. I think you guys, Nick Sirianni needs to go in and run this man, run him. Run the fucking ball. Okay? Run Saquon, get that play action because you don't have AJ Brown. That is going to be your problem. You don't have AJ Brown. You have a bunch of fucking guys, bunch of nobodies outside of Devontae Smith. You got a bunch of fucking nobodies. So
I mean, yeah, somewhat. I mean, they even
I
they
mean,
should
outside
have.
of Dale, I mean Devontae Smith and Dallas Goddard. I mean,
I mean,
who
Jahan
else?
Dotson's a former first round pick. Like they made that move to be better than to have an advantage over other teams as far as their third receiver, and they didn't even fucking use the guy.
He had one catch for
Yeah,
6 yards last week.
yeah,
I know because he was on my fucking bench. So
yeah,
and the craziest thing is I almost started him. I'd have
yep.
been pissed.
So
So
I
I
just,
think at this point we both have tough games coming up this weekend, and we're really hoping we win these games because you couldn't tell me shit if we beat the Chiefs. Okay, we beat the defending champs. I don't care if we lose the rest of our games. You can't tell me shit. We beat the Chiefs. Okay, go fuck yourself. You
yeah.
can't say your team can't say that. So that's all I'm looking. I need us to. I need Kirk Cousins to come in and because this Chiefs defense isn't. It's just not great. They're not a great team. I mean, you almost lost to the Bengals.
Yeah,
Shit, they almost lost to the Ravens, and the Ravens played like shit.
yeah, true. Yeah.
So it's gonna be a very fun Sunday.
Oh yes.
So
Well, MFers, it was a great Saturday. No big upsets to report. James Madison 70, UNC 50. That's about it.
that's an upset.
We got some big games this weekend. You got the WNBA playoffs coming up. Don't miss out on any more Mostly Football episodes. Damn it, we're not every week, we're not every day, but we're here. Keep your eyes out for notifications. Every show is quality over quantity. And get used to it. We're here. We're having a good time. We're gonna, keep mixing in some guests here and there, some friends of ours, some friends of the pod, some league mates, some fantasy stuff. I should have brought up the rosters and, just really pointed out the fact that I'm still 2-0 in our Dynasty League. Put an emphasis on that. You know
Well,
me, I don't like to brag too much. I'm a humble guy.
yeah, I'm 1-2, so I think I think I might be okay this week. I'm slated to win, so I think I might be okay this week.
Guys, thank you so much. Keep an eye out on the page for notifications when we're going to go again. We will see you next time. I'm Dylan. He's Nate.
Peace.
How do you think